right, I think we're ready to go. Good morning, good evening, or good afternoon, or whatever you are. I hope you are having a good one. Let's just kind of want to make sure I have the sound going on. Okay, we're good. Am I a little bit quiet? I might be a little bit quiet, but hopefully not. I think my mic is where it's supposed to be. But hopefully I'm not going to be too quiet in comparison to the videos. But yeah, we'll figure that out. Anyway, today is another one of the Sunday React streams. If you missed the last one, which was last week, and funnily enough, that was actually the first one, I decided to have these reaction streams as separate pieces of content because I didn't want to have people join the stream and then just kind of spend half an hour a day just like watching videos with me if that's not something they'd like to watch on that particular day. Good morning, Cupcake. How are you doing? And welcome back. Also, Morgan. Good afternoon. Welcome back. What's up? Today, I actually just wanted to thank you guys for actually posting these videos. I have quite a few of them that I've been wanting to see, and I think they're all really good and fun ones. I got some cool ones yesterday, um, and today, thanks Cupcake for helping out and posting some of the stuff on Discord. I just want to check and make sure that I saw it all. If I miss out on anyone's video, I'll make sure to watch it next week, unless it's something urgent. so yeah, don't worry about that. Just let me know if the sound is in any way weird, like too loud or too quiet. I don't want to rip your ears, and I want to make sure that that it's also good on my side. Hi Hans, welcome back. How are you doing? Lovely to see you here. I know this is kind of I'm actually gonna adjust my camera a bit. Ooh, that's even worse. That's kind of a lot worse. Oh geez, okay, that's not good at all. All right, let's fix that. Jeez, not good. All right, like I hate it when my camera is narrow, and this actually looks pretty. I just want to fix it. Come on. Okay, here we go. I've been listening to a lot of Karen Reddit videos, and somehow I feel like I've lost brain cells. What are Karen Reddit videos? Does that have anything to do with what you said, what you sent to me on Discord, or not? Because the background's still Christmas. Yeah, do you know what? Actually, in Eastern and like Southeastern Europe, Christmas is celebrated on January the 7th and like the 8th. So technically, this is the first day of it not being Christmas. And what's also funny about our Christmases is that, well, not just Christmases, but holidays, is that New Year is also celebrated on January the 13th. So traditionally, people here will keep their Christmas and New Year's decorations until like January 15th, because that is officially like the end of holidays. So I always feel like, just not doing it. Good morning, Lilith. Welcome back, and hi, Victor. Welcome back as well. Yeah, glowing tree. I love my tree. Actually, like I always I'm weird with New Year's decorations. I always just kind of want to have them up at all times. But I know that people don't really understand that. I do have my well, these are not actually the Christmas lamps. They're just like little lamps that I just have there, and they don't look too Christmassy. So people kind of get off my back when it comes to that, and don't bother me too much. Because they actually are not a part of Christmas. So it's after January the 6th, Draconigan. I do know the concept of Karen, but I'm just wondering if they were related to a particular topic of like similarly to what you posted on Discord, like the Karen FF14 healer video or whatever. Like or like what kind of Karen do you mean? Anyways, we're gonna watch some good stuff today. This is the video that Balular made, and he actually made is this like a biographic Yoship video? I'm not sure. It's time to dive into the interesting life of the man who led Final Fantasy XIV to success. I think this is gonna be a really cool one for all of us. So yeah, we're gonna watch that one. Just feel free to let me know if the sound is like loud or quiet in comparison to my voice, because I can always adjust that. But I also need to move my water away from the screen. All right, I think we're good to go for our Sunday movie time. Enjoy.
Yoshi P. Someone who really is being, well, made myth. I mean, he's talked about in such a way. The savior of Final Fantasy. A man celebrated for carrying the franchise out of the fire that the PlayStation 3 era left it in. But he's not just Yoshi P, subject of much internet worship.
I wonder, like, Yoshi P is for sure gonna see this video. I wonder if it feels awkward to, like, have Velular make an actual video about you.
His actual name is Naoki Yoshida, and he's actually pretty humble about it all, which is a damn good sign, and more than anything,
I love that glam.
He is in fact just a guy. Pretty damn interesting one, actually. We did a little research. We found a lot more than we bargained for. Now, most of what today's video is really coming from is what we learned from the collection of his Famitsu columns, called Yoshida Uncensored. So
what's that?
A very big shout out for Shinitan for translating them. Big hero. Let's start by...
Like stories? What?
The most pressing question. Is he in fact a primal?
What?
Time to examine the evidence. A primal is, in essence, a concept given form through ether. The large enough collection of ether and a solid enough dream, wish, or idea, you can in fact give birth to life. Yoshida himself is a man formed of pure MMO love. He has played them religiously for decades. He managed to start even working on one, Dragon Quest X, and then inexplicably ended up leading FF14 to where it is today.
I don't think it's inexplicable. If you watch the No Clip documentary, you know how much understanding he has for MMOs.
Right when the players needed him most, he manifested. It's impossible to think about the plot of A Realm Reborn without thinking about it on a more metatextual level, comparing it to the game's development. The plot, the prison of the 12, built with ether, gathered from across the world. It failed its duty, and Bahamut's might was brought to bear. On Eorzea, then, all the cries for salvation and the prayers for rebirth, they took form, saving the world in the end. The real world, Naoki Yoshida, was just an MMO-loving man, but in order to save FF14, he had to shoulder some of those hopes and dreams, and in a way, become Yoshi P. That's, I think, why the people think the P might stand for primal.
What does it actually stand for? I don't think I even know.
That said, the man himself would far rather the P stood for player. He was actually asked about being a primal in the End Walker Media Tour by Jesse Cox and JP.
Of course he was.
The answer was this. I always tell people you guys are my friends, my comrades, and my family. I don't want you to think of me as a primal.
Aw. Like, who wants to be a primal anyway, though?
Worship is not exactly something that the plotline of FF14 really supports. And by his own admission, he is in fact just a middle-aged man who really, really loves
Wow.
So
that's really hurtful.
How did all of this stuff end up happening? How did a regular enough guy's absolute love for MMOs lead him on a journey that would have so many look up to him and revere him so much? Going almost 30 years back, we've got this guy.
Wait, that's him? No, that's not him.
Specifically for creating this game. Yoshida has said before that Tactics Ogre let us cling together all the way back in 1995. That is the game that inspired him to build his
I am embarrassingly enough never heard of it.
Career toward working on a game with Matsuno himself. While it's not an MMO, experiencing the world of Tactics Ogre and later Final Fantasy Tactics very much highlights how the world building of FF14 got its roots. To put it into words, it's
like, man, you guys know everything. At this point, I'm starting to feel like I've spent my life playing the wrong games, because you don't know any of the games that I played, and y'all just played like Square Enix games and like Final Fantasy whatnot, and I just never have.
It's European medieval fantasy focused on the personal impact of political intrigue. There's another game then that inspired Yoshida heavily. was a few years later, and it's one you might recognize. It was, of course, a groundbreaking entry from a young and promising company called Blizzard Entertainment. Sucked up a lot of young adult Yoshida's time. He tells the story of eagerly awaiting the release of Diablo after seeing it in a magazine, but having to wait a long time because Blizzard delayed it repeatedly until they were satisfied with it as gamers themselves. He likened them to stubborn...
Still remember seeing the small pictures printed in a PC game magazine and eagerly looking forward to the game's release after reading that article. I guess talking about Diablo. By the way, the game got delayed over and over after that article, so it was quite a long wait. At the time, Blizzard Entertainment said, "We won't release the game until we're satisfied with it as gamers." Like a stubborn old man that had too much pride in his work. Meanwhile, the players were impatiently waiting for more news. Like, you can see that in FF14. Like, I think they've actually kept this kind of attitude, but spinned it the right way. Like, Endwalker wasn't released until they were happy with it, but once it was released, everyone was happy with it.
An old man with too much pride, but it clearly worked because he and his colleagues played it for...
When the game was released, we used our company's internal LAN to play to our heart's content, completely ignoring our work. Before long, our Diablo group, myself included, was running out of spots to hold our items and fretting about where to store them. There, my senior came up with an incredibly reckless idea. He started up a game world on a company PC with a character named Chinkyu, squared, and exterminated all the monsters in each floor so that we could store our items there. That PC was kept running 24/7. Like, it's kind of endearing to read about Blizzard's Diablo. Yeah, I get that. Like, I like that, like, you can see, like, the way old Blizzard was, that there was actual passion in creating games and, you know, playing your own games and having fun with them. Like, I wonder how many people over there now play WoW and actually enjoy it.
For hours and hours on their internal LAN, even skipping work to do so. This is, in fact, where his love and reverence for Blizzard games kicked off. He said many times he would love to work with Blizzard someday, and of course, he has in fact been spotted at...
Never thought I'd see Yoship next to something I made. I'm shook. Thank you, Dagger, for asking me to make something for the... Aww.
BlizzCon. He really has been pretty much a lifelong fan, and he always makes it clear that A Realm Reborn would not exist without World of Warcraft. But Diablo and Blizzard was just a stepping stone. What it really did was start a lifelong affair with the entire genre of online games.
Hi, Velvet! Welcome to the stream. I'm watching stuff that's on the channel. First time I caught you live. Yeah, I'm usually live during the weekend, and afternoons are usually my non-gaming streams. So either the Final Fantasy cooking streams or like just watching the community content and stuff. So yeah, welcome. I hope you're having a good time here with us, and appreciate the support. And also, hi, Neko. Welcome back. How are you doing? And did I miss anyone else? I don't think so.
Like many of us, he did not just dabble in MMOs. He lived MMOs. In fact, he loves them so much,
don't we all?
He confessed to having 4 separate...
It's important to research a provider in advance before signing a contract with them, but in the end, you won't know if there are delays or packet loss without actually trying it, because your home location is a factor. The destination IP address also matters. It's normal to experience lag in some games, but not okay. The risk of delays and packet loss is very high when connecting to foreign name servers because packets have to travel through undersea cables. I think it's very important to understand your internet environment, so please try these tests. What is this? Since this is so important to me, I'm actually signed up with 4 service providers. Whenever I think the lag is getting bad, I switch to a different connection. Each company has different equipment setups, so use whichever connection is best suited for the game at the time. It can be done instantaneously through a router. You can never be too prepared, although I guess 4 connections is overdoing it, but canceling contracts is a pain.
Contracts at once, so that he could actually just swap his connections in case one service's routing resulted in packet loss to foreign game servers.
Hi, Nike, welcome back. How are you doing? What's up? And welcome back, Ferris. How are you today? think the time difference is a big thing. It's 6:20 a.m. here now. Yeah, it probably is. Yes, these are my earlier ones, but I start my next stream in 6 hours from now. So that would be like your afternoon or something like that. Anyway, have a good night and thank you for dropping by. Have a wonderful, wonderful rest of your night and day.
Seriously, this guy, he was serious. 4 different connections. Of all his MMO exploits, though, Dark Age of Camelot was the most vicious. For the 6.5 years he played it, he says it was a lifestyle.
So these are basically Yoshi's quotes on like his gaming experience and different stuff. It's actually pretty cool to read it. Ever since Diablo came out in 1997, I lived the life of an MMO junkie at the cost of getting work done. The game I played for the longest period of time was an MMORPG called Dark Age of Camelot. I started during beta and continued playing for about 6.5 years. Geez, my entire lifestyle revolved around Deok, and I would forget to eat meals because of it. Yeah, you have like 2 types of gamers. You have the ones who like start playing and never finish their food, or the ones who have food all around them and just continuously eat while they're playing. What type of gamer are you? As you know, I always have food laying around. Luckily, I also have fast metabolism. Jeez.
Right down to skipping meals just to play more. Kind of ironically, he started playing Camelot because he got too addicted to EverQuest, and he wanted to play a game that, well, would eat up less of his time. And he actually ended up playing Camelot so much that when he met someone from the development team while working on FF14, they actually remembered his Camelot character. Right? And that's just from how much PvP he did. That's a lot of PvP. One anecdote from Yoshida Uncensored really does stand out.
Need to not be lazy and calf for the EU tune, then log back into NA. What do you still want to do on EU? 14 years ago, I was working for a very small company. I draft game designs by myself, promote our products to clients, make budget estimates, and lead projects. I was basically a jack of all trades. I'd be in the office 14 hours a day, a workaholic that couldn't differentiate between work and fun. Although it's even worse now. Perhaps because he pitied me. The director allowed me to bring my personal PC to work. Of course, I couldn't connect to it to the company internet so that I could play my beloved MMORPGs at work under the guise of research. Such a blessed arrangement. I built a PC and placed it on my desk so that I could stay logged in even from work. It was like a dream. I would focus on my work, tapping away at my keyboard, but also monitoring my gaming PC in the corner of my eye. If I saw a rare monster spawn, I'd swap to the other mouse and keyboard at the speed of light. That's hilarious. I actually completely resonate with this. Like, I don't think I'd even have time to play games if I wasn't if I didn't decide to do content for it, because basically doing content is kind of my excuse.
That's a very small company he worked for in the past. He was working around 14 hours a day doing the work of multiple roles. His boss, out of pity, according to Yoshida, let him bring his own PC in so that he could research other MMORPGs while he was on the clock. Now, he said it was like a dream, working away, of course, but being able to swap to his other PC whenever he spotted a rare mob spawn. He'd only have to log out for 30 minutes to make his way home, and then he could get right back to the game. The anecdotes littered throughout his columns show that he's had every experience an MMO vet could have. He met friends from Diablo in Ultima Online, and as their guildmaster, he got viciously scammed. He was trying to sell 2 weeks worth of mining materials, which was enough to buy a house for the guild, but he fell for a very basic Ultima Online scam. See, in Ultima Online, you had to hover over a pile of gold to see how much gold it was. The pile of gold icon could actually mean anything from 6 gold to 60,000 or more, just any number greater than 6.
Okay.
Now, he did what was right the first time. He confirmed. He hovered over. 64,000 gold. It was there. But then the buyer misclicked the cancel button. So then they tried to do the trade again. But this time, he was so excited to get the money to buy his guild a house that he forgot to check how much gold was in the pile of gold. He got a measly 6 gold. Thankfully, he vented his frustrations to a Japanese Ultima Online forum, and then the leader from a huge guild reimbursed him.
Oh,
and even gave him
wow.
a set of armor that he treasured for the rest of his ultimate online time. Then, there was the time he roleplayed as a female caster in Dark Age of Camelot, kneeling and saying, "Thanks, my knight," to tank players who would cover him in combat. Until one of his regular allies thought he actually was a girl, and it got very awkward very fast. So, after accidentally breaking a young man's heart, Yoshida decided to stop roleplaying.
What kind of Japanese girls do you like? As I was deciding how to reply, D cut in and said, "Why are you making a girl answer what type of girl she likes?" Valerie talked about awkwardness left over to chat. Selika is a girl, right? A Japanese high school girl. What the? He's an old man.
Surprisingly enough, he claims to still be in touch with most of the people in the
That's hilarious.
column. And with a variety of experiences like that, I think it's no wonder he loves MMOs so much. But he's not just about MMOs. So, who is Yoshi P? It's hard to get a complete picture. As far as we know, of course, he works, he plays FF14, and we really do know that he actually plays a hell of a lot of the game for fun. He does some interesting philosophizing on how to structure work, and how to work when you don't feel like working in column 49. And he uses here a very specific example. He started writing the column just after midnight, 12 hours before the deadline. Because instead of doing it the day before as he had planned, he actually just went and cleared some Alexander Savage fights instead.
Just casually went and cleared.
And even when writing the column later that night, he was just fighting the urge to log in and do Thordan Extreme. So he really does seem to be the FF14 man then, except when he does things like take days off work to go snowboarding. And that's something he's really invested in.
For me, my holiday options are simple things like marathoning movies, playing games, or going snowboarding. There's been unusually little snowfall this year, so I postponed my snowboarding trip to mid-January, leaving me without much to do right now. Oh, wow. Wait, where are you getting ideas of me standing in Limsa role-playing all day? Is that how you see me? Jeez.
Few columns, he talks about how he always has his gear ready once the winter rolls around, and this even includes his second car that always has a snowboard rack and always has its snow tires on. He does nothing in half measures, that's very much for sure. He tries to snowboard 10 to 20 times a year, and when he doesn't half-ass it, he does a full day. He's out the door at 5 AM, and he carves up the slopes until the slopes close. Beyond that, well, he really is all about games and movies. He has a tradition of rewatching the Matrix trilogy every New Year, purely because he just really
I haven't seen that movie in ages.
In America to release the fourth movie this Christmas, just in time for him. The other pillar, then, that seems to comprise his hobbies, is the humble mystery novel. He loved reading them so much in his younger years that he actually believes that mystery novels destroyed his eyesight.
I don't stand in Limsa all the time. I do have my Aetheryte teleport to Limsa just because the market board is close and everything's nearby and there's people, so I don't feel alone. But that doesn't mean I go around role-playing all the time.
The romantic idea of reading a foreign classic mystery novel in a dimly lit room was just too appealing to him, so he read one almost every night when he was in middle school. He said that he likens it to being in a female classmate's room on a school trip. So you know he means business. We have a whole video, actually, on his love of mystery novels and what that actually has meant for FF14, so check out that video on the channel for a bit more of that. After how Endwalker is clearly written, I think the video also hits a little bit different too, so maybe we'll have to do a follow-up. Anyway, there's enough to talk about with Yoshida for hours. So we'll end with just one more segment on him as a person, and that is his weaknesses. Some people try to puff up their chest and not let anybody know that they have weaknesses. Maybe they'll even deceive themselves into thinking they don't have weaknesses. That's certainly not him, though, because all credit to him, he is in fact very upfront with the things that he doesn't like. Things like that. As an example, he's actually terrified of flying, so going abroad is actually a pretty awful experience for him, but it's something he...
Imagine, being known to players all over the world, having to go to all these festivals and stuff, and just like not wanting to get on a plane. I get that though. I'm terribly afraid of heights, but for some reason I don't mind planes.
For obviously business and meeting the players. And this is where his enjoyment of movies actually comes in, because he can just go and watch movies, between work and flights to help get him through it. Another one of his weaknesses that ties into this, as he says, is that now that he's getting a bit older, he says his tear glands are loose. I don't really know if I would consider it to be a weakness. When he watches movies or read books, he ends up feeling he can relate to them on a sort of personal level so much now that he's older that he just cries a lot. And he says in the column that it's gotten so bad that he actually now worries about reading books when he travels in case he embarrasses himself.
Aww.
This even happened to him on a plane. He was
It's not embarrassing.
Creed of all things, and the themes of the relationship between Adonis and Rocky left him crying so much that the flight attendant had to check if he was okay. But you know what? It's hardly a surprise given that there's quite a few tearjerkers in FF14. So I don't consider this sort of thing to be a weakness at all.
I bet he has a lot of fun playing his own game.
Oh, and also his eyesight is shit. Hey, that's two of us. Ever see him constantly take his glasses off?
Don't I know that?
Well, apparently his eyesight has diminished horribly because, of course, of age, work, and how much he reads. But also for him, the nature of contact lenses and LASIK just scares him too much to even try. To be honest, I'm the exact same. I know laser eye surgery could be great, but I don't really like the idea of the front of my eye being sliced open. And
yeah, it's probably about the Japanese culture, but at the same time, a lot of his audience is not Japanese, so I get that from his perspective, he would feel that way if he shows emotions in front of his audience. But from our perspective, especially here, I don't know what it's like in the West, but here in Europe, like people don't really care about that. It's totally normal to to show these emotions, and it's kind of it's almost in some cultures it's seen as old fashioned to like look at men weirdly for like showing emotions or crying or whatever. It's just different everywhere, I guess. Favorite place to hang out is Kugane still. What happens in Kugane? Is there an actual community there, like around the Atherid, like in Limsa? I think I'm missing out. Like Gridania. Yeah, Gridania, like I would hang out there all the time, mostly because of the music. But I don't know, I never really interacted with people in Gridania. They just kind of I don't know, stick to themselves a lot. In Limsa it's much more, chatty. But maybe I should consider Gridania when I don't want to chat. Or role play.
Being a little eye flap. I totally get it. It's a pretty spooky thing. He doesn't even like wearing glasses because he says they make him look too serious. Now, we sort of think he comes from a bit of an era where, glasses were kind of like for the nerds in school, and that's maybe something that stuck with him a bit. A bit more related to his job, you might not notice this from watching him lately, but actually, he suffers horribly from stage fright. For a long time, taking the stage to present his game was a terrifying ordeal, stemming from a bad experience that he had presenting at school. For two examples, giving a talk to students in Mexico and addressing the crowd at the Orsian Symphia, every time he is trembling with fear.
Oh, wow.
Until something reminds him that he's just speaking to a crowd of people who are just like him. In Mexico, it was a woman hugging him.
That's excited. A good way to get rid of fear, for sure.
It was one guy yelling his name and the entire crowd joining in. He firmly believes that FF14 players are the real warriors of light and share with him the echo whenever he needs it most.
Aww.
It's a nice little analogy for that feeling and how it can just propel somebody and help them get over their stuff. And really that's about it for as much as we can fit into this video. There's a lot of Yoshida Uncensored. He has a very interesting history. And it's kind of nice to know more about the man. And if you enjoyed this, we will make some more because
Like for some of us, it's the man who changed our life, not because he created a game, but because he allowed us to, meet people who we otherwise never would have met if there wasn't for him and fixing Final Fantasy and a bunch of other factors. But this is definitely one of them. So yeah, huge thanks.
While we talked a bit more about the man himself, he's also a businessman. He's also an experienced director, an experienced producer, and actually a pretty deep thinker. On top of that, there are a ton of insights about FF14's various struggles and general game development hell. We could do a deep look into the past work. So if anything there sounds appealing, be it the history of Yoshi, what we can learn from Yoshi, let us know. We'll get right to it. Till then, though, I hope you found this to be interesting.
I hope for more videos like this. This was a really good one. I enjoyed it. My initial reaction was, this guy takes everything far more seriously than anyone should, but at least he cares. Exactly! I completely agree. And also, Chase, welcome to the chat. How are you doing today? Yeah, I guess we could describe him as such. Limsa has best bards, though Limsa does have best bards and best glams, for sure. Okay, alright, we're all good. Never mind. Sorry, I was just looking at something. This is a good video. I had fun watching. There's actually a lot more that we're gonna see today. I don't know what this is. This is the video that Cupcake sent me. This is a result of Cupcake's relentless Karen video watching today. I guess this is the result of your Reddit binge. I actually haven't seen this one. Doing Mother Crystal again today? No, today I'm gonna get my Reaper to 90. My Reaper is at 88, and I have a lot of things to do. I have all of the role quests from Shadowbringers, the role quests for Endwalker, and the job quests for Reaper, and the level 80 job quests for Reaper to do. So I'm level 88, and I don't even think I should be doing roulettes on my Reaper. I think if I do all of that, I'm hoping that it's gonna push me at least somewhat close to 90. Because they actually they actually give a lot of experience. So today, like usually on Sundays, I don't do any like raids or anything like that. I do lore streams. So Sunday nights are for catching up with the lore, with some side content, with with some more casual fun stuff. So that's what we're doing tonight. I'm excited. I don't know enough Heideling stream for now. I actually was in a Heideling's dungeon, prison, whatever you want to call it. Just now, we're actually still trying to get Luneth a clear, and a few other people from the community who also want to clear. We'll be doing it. I don't know if we're gonna do it throughout the week, but I want to do more clears. I want to get myself a mount, and definitely want us all to clear it at some point. So we did try. But funnily enough, I was in a group where none of the tanks had a marker, and I was doing just fine. What's Soulbree's take on FF? No, I actually haven't seen it. If you want, you're more than welcome to post like all the videos that you want me to see. Like I'll probably see them next week. But you can post them in Discord. There's a channel, the stuff to react to. So you're free to toss the links there, and I'll just compile them. And I open them once a week, and I just go through them. Yeah, the mount is gonna be a tough one to get. What's this?
Healer here! Help! Someone help! Healer! Hello, I'm Karen. No.
Hello.
Someone else, please.
What? No, I'm here to help.
Then help me, please.
Don't you worry. I am an expert. I just unlocked Expert Roulette last night. I am trusted by many people.
Okay.
My astrologian friend sent me this.
Oh my god.
What?
It's an essential dignity diffuser, and I'm gonna set it right next to you.
Huh?
And this will help with all those status effects.
Do you not have an Asuna?
Don't listen to those
What?
liars, okay?
What?
Trust me. I know what I'm doing. Okay, I'm an Archon, for one. Okay.
But you don't have a mark.
Well, they wouldn't give it to me, but I'm
I
qualified.
love his videos.
I'm qualified to be an Archon. In the qualifications in the book of Archon, I would read about it.
Oh, please, someone.
And you may see that I'm
Someone
qualified
help,
to be an Archon. Alright, now stay calm. Based on the prognosis, it seems like we need to cast some holy, okay?
Holy.
Alright.
Funnily enough, as I'm starting to get more and more into the end game, I'm starting to understand these jokes, so it's a good time for me to be watching this video.
Let's pray. Oh, dearest Helone. Hello, Helone. Hello, hello. I want to pray for our good friend. What's your name again?
Burrito.
Oh, Bean Burrito. We lift up Bean Burrito today on this very day of days.
Oh god. Yeah, I know that I know that actually from the dungeon, not for the trial. The Doom thing. We learned that the hard way on what's the name of the dungeon? I can't even remember. The one with the big ass kitty cat. It's not a kitty cat, it's a sphinx. No, it's a what is it? It's a griffin. It's not a griffin. It's what is it? I don't know. I don't know what it is, but that boss took a while. This is this is a good one. Thanks. Now this is the one that kind of gets me to rage a little bit. I'm actually not sure if I should even be watching because I'm still bearing the scars of house camping, and some of you may have been camping the houses a lot longer than myself. But like when we were getting our FC house, how long did it take us, Cupcake? I think it took us like it took us probably like a whole month, and I remember getting up at weird hours. Well, back then getting up at like 5 or 6 in the morning was weird because I had a different sleep pattern. These days I wake up at 1 in the morning, so I would have been totally fine with camping, but not those days. Yeah, I will check out more of his videos. If you know any really good ones, yeah, feel free to just toss them into Discord. Yeah, still camping feels bad. Well, hopefully in 6.1, I think there's gonna be that roulette thing that's gonna at least make it easier. I don't know, like the whole idea of housing black market and people, you know, just kind of skipping to do it was really bad. I remember actually starting around like mid-August. I think that's when we no, it was after my birthday. It was after my birthday. I know that for sure. Because you helped us with the guild for the house hunting. So that's I think when I really started, and I think we got the house sometime late September, maybe ish. So it was around a month. But I also took a vacation from from August 31st to September the 10th, so I wasn't camping then. I don't know if you guys have, so it might have been a little bit shorter for me actually.
So a while ago on this channel, I covered the news of how a creative Final Fantasy XIV Redditor scammed a housing board out of 237 million gil. And today I'd like to cover the seedier underbelly of the Final Fantasy XIV housing black market, a post that is also trending on Reddit. And for those who don't know, to get a house in Final Fantasy XIV is arguably the hardest content in the game, maybe even more so than the raids itself. There's a limited supply of houses in the game, yet an ever-increasing demand to obtain houses because of how popular the game is. And yes, Yoship and
it's the bad kind of hard. It's the non-fun kind of hard, and you're forced to find like different kinds of fun, like chat people up like a creep in front of the play cards.
team have implemented some changes in 6.0, and they'll be implementing more changes in 6.1 to alleviate the abuse of the housing market right now. But sadly, it seems like the unethical practices of trading Final Fantasy XIV houses for real-world money still exists on the black market outside of the game in a rampant fashion. Let me give you a few examples of all these real money trading or RMT sales posts, for instance. And all these are posted on popular MMORPG forums for real money transactions. Look at this post here. Someone is literally selling a Goblet Medium Plot 49 on the Marlboro server for $500.
Is that $500? The most wanted medium goblet plot. Tier 1 plot in the heart of the Burning Heart swimming pools. Walk out of your front yard and jump right into the water. Jeez, I know some like how like apartment renting and other agencies that do a worse job at advertising these things.
$100 with the advertising tagline of the most wanted medium goblet plot. And apparently it's a
That's
tier 1
beautiful
plot
plot.
right in the heart of the brimming heart of swimming pools. Not sure what he meant. Walk out of your front door and jump right into water. Unethical practices aside, this guy obviously puts in some thought in terms of how to sell and market his houses. And just reading the tagline, I'm starting to wonder if he runs some form of housing black market cartel on some deep dark part of the internet, because this does not seem like
God.
his first foray.
No.
And here's another one on the Marlboro server from the same seller, selling a medium Shirogane plot 15 for $350. With the tagline great high view of the city and the sea. Also going for $350 is another Marlboro server plot of land sold by the same guy, a medium Shirogane plot 13, with the tagline right next to your own mini waterfalls. And what really irks me about these three
Your
posts
own,
is
right?
that how there are actually tons and tons of people out there in Final Fantasy XIV who are desperate to get their own houses via in-game means. And this fella out here is ruthlessly exploiting that imbalance in supply and demand dynamics in the game for real-world profits of his own. Now what's really odd though is there's actually a
But how do they get the houses in the first place? Like, you can only have like one estate. I guess, does it work like in a way that you like, I don't know, somehow get a house and then sell it and then somehow acquire a new house? Or do they house flip? Do they like buy a house with real money and then like, I don't know, sell it for more? Can you like do they like do actual businesses like decorating and house flipping? Like, do you Oh, alts. Oh, okay, thanks. Yeah, I was trying to figure out whether or not like they buy a plot and then make a house and then like super decorate it and like sell it for more money. Like that, they don't do that, do they?
in his post. As of Endwalker 6.0, the relocation of housing plots is no longer possible, yet his sales title includes the words relo. So I don't know how legitimate this seller is, but imagine paying for the house, paying real world dollars, only to be scammed by a seller who disappears off the face of the internet. And yes, I know he also tagged FC, which clearly means he intends to transfer the ownership of certain houses by inviting you to the FC and then making you the FC leader. Something that might work for now, but it has been identified by Yoship and team as something that they will remove in 6.1 or they will introduce some form of restrictions.
Relocation to land that is not yet ready for purchase will no longer be available as of 6.0. Land devaluation will be removed. Yeah, that was useless anyways. This is good that this was removed. It will no longer be possible to grant brand new FC members authorization to purchase land or the rank of FC master. How long do you have to be a member? Is there additional info on that? How long do you have to be a member of the FC to be granted that permission? Lottery system will be implemented. Woo!
As you
Ishgard,
can see
here I
from the
come.
image here. So it got me really curious. How can this guy be selling all three plots on Marlboro? And does this cartel run deeper than it really is? So I started googling the thread name in orange, and lo and behold, I found our man, who is literally exploiting FOMO to earn real world dollars. And I know this is our guy because the listing of houses he is selling on this forum known as Epic NPC matches the price
What?
point exactly on the three pictures posted on Reddit. And this is how he's exploiting FOMO. This
Yeah, and he's using the same fonts and everything. It's pretty obvious.
man named Chocobo Farm says in his forum advertisement, "Welcome to Chocobo Farm. Get your dream plots and houses now before Endwalker 6.1 changes make it far more difficult." He's obviously talking about how Yoship and team have already fixed the relocation exploit in 6.0, which allows people who have already owned a house to have first
Oh man, I hope they track him down and just like ban every single one of them.
dibs on an opening plot of land by relocating there first. instead of going through the whole process of clicking on a placard and praying to God that you are the lucky one. He's also alluding to the fact that in 6.1, Yoship and team will implement a new restrictions where new members of a FC cannot be immediately transferred ownership of a FC. More specifically, you can't instantaneously receive the house after payment. And here's his sales pitch: buying as an FC house. It is the easiest and most popular option by far. You do not need to already own a house. The FC with the house will be transferred to you. The trade process takes no more than a few minutes. And then he goes on to talk about how he will offer proof of housing ownership before the payment step to guarantee that he actually owns the house that he is selling.
How long would you have to wait until you were able to promote someone as an FC lead after they joined an FC? Do you know?
Which again raises a whole bunch of other questions. Isn't there a chance someone will know his exact in-game name and report him for a ban? Or worse, if you bought the house from him using real-world dollars, someone might report the plot of land for a breach of TOS. Imagine getting your account banned on top of losing real-world money.
Jeez.
I'm not sure if that's really worthwhile. And if you think that he's only doing it on the Marlboro servers, think again. This man seems to have inventory on 7 other servers as well, as you can see from all these pictures here. And interestingly, it does seem like this man actually does have a good amount of buyers on the forums. Just like this customer who apparently is a verified member of
Easy to work with and was a pleasure. Got to dual plot for my wife and I as we were looking for a new place to call home. Was skeptical at first, mainly since wasn't seeing any reviews. Wife even asked to do one at a time versus both, and seller agreed happily. That said, transaction went extremely quick and smooth, so if you're having second thoughts, this one's definitely trustworthy. 2 happy buyers, thank you so much again. Why wouldn't they just get one house?
of the forum name containing, and he says, I got the dual plot for my wife. I was skeptical at first, mainly because I was not seeing any reviews, but then said transaction went through quick and smooth, and if you're having second thoughts, this one is definitely trustworthy. And assuming that all
So these 2 people like went and spent like $700 on 2 like in-game houses. Do you know like the wild stuff you can do for like $700, especially where I live in? Jeez.
all these reviews are legitimate transaction. Some of them are verified members of the forum, so they're not newly created accounts. The seller seems to have already made a good number of transactions. From the span of October 2021 to January 2022, I counted 29 successful transactions. And let's assume all of them are for the lower price point of $350. This man has made over $10,000 over that period of time, which is
What makes you think they're fake posts though? Because people actually do buy these things. Like people, like I know a bunch of people who would buy it, and I'm pretty sure that some of them do. I'm sure he's making good money off of it. It's just a pity.
around $3,300 for 1 month worth of work, just listing houses on a forum and reselling them. Of course, regarding how he got the houses in the first place, nobody knows, but after learning about this, I'm so glad that Yoship and team has removed relocation in 6.0, and I'm glad they will also be disabling the loophole of transferring FC ownership to new members come 6.1. Of course, I'm sure unethical and unscrupulous people like him will also figure out new ways to sell houses on the black market. Maybe it's selling accounts or something, who knows. But based on the past live letters, Yoship did say they are implementing a new lottery system for housing, where you are no longer needed to spam click a placard to try and secure a house, but merely submit your bid and pray that you are the lucky winner. But I think Yoship also clarified that not all modes of housing plot sales will be using this new lottery system, so I guess there might be some cases where it's the mix of the old placard sales method as well. But regardless, the lottery system will definitely greatly diminish the supply of housing that eventually makes it to the Final Fantasy XIV black market. Reading this piece of news though, as someone that saw my FC go through Housing Ultimate via in-game means, having received disappointing news on so many occasions for missing out on certain plots,
Yeah, I'm probably a little bit more gullible because like I'm the kind of person who like when I see like these more personal stories, like I know I shouldn't be inclined to believe them because people do write these more personalized stories that just kind of sound more real, but I'm always just like, why would someone lie about all the things that they've said? Like I don't know, it's just incomprehensible to me.
It's quite upsetting to learn that people are actually making silly money by profiting off people's love and passion for Final Fantasy XIV. Like, obviously I know the other side of the argument that people will make is, why do you care? If those buyers are willing to pony up $500 for a plot of land, why should we judge or care? Aren't there both
Pony
willing
up? Is
buyers
that
and
how you say
sellers in
it?
this case? Assuming these are not a scam, of course, and the reviews here are not fake reviews. Well, then this crosses into the realm of breaching the TOS. I mean, the terms of services is there to protect the player base and to ensure everyone has a fair playing environment. That itself is something worth thinking about. Also, there's this whole other can of worms around ethics and whether this is exploitative behavior, given you are really just monetizing people's FOMOs and passion for the game. But hey, I guess just like reality, there's always some black sheeps amongst any community. So what's the play then? Well, nothing is confirmed, but I know some people like myself is hoping Island Sanctuary could be an instant solution.
Oh, I
of course,
can't
we
wait.
know it's not a one-to-one replacement for actually owning a house in the game. But if Island Sanctuary allows me to customize the aesthetics of my farm, allows me to choose which minions to run about, I'll be more than happy to spend my days retiring in Eorzea on my very own island. I remember vividly before Endwalker being super psyched about Island Sanctuary, so now that the MSQs are over, raids are already under the way, Island Sanctuary is definitely the next thing I'm looking forward to in the game. Anyways, what are your thoughts on the Final Fantasy XIV housing black market? How do you
Leveling
feel
all
about
my
people
jobs.
making real-world money off selling in-game houses? Let me know in the comments below. And if you're keen to hear about breaking news related to the new Island Sanctuary or further patch updates, make sure to subscribe to this channel by hitting the button right here. More content coming your way. In case you missed it, I covered how someone scammed a housing bought out of 237 million gil. This video here is the video of interest. Thanks for watching, a shout out to my Patreon subscribers for keeping the channel alive, and I'll see you soon.
Wow. Unbelievable the things people would do to make money. It's like, you know, that like the person who would do that, like you instantly know that they don't really have any other commitments in their life. Like if they do these like massive attempts to like make money before 6.1, that means that that is pretty much where their time is going. That means they have no job. They're just like trying real hard to I don't know, to just it's disgusting. It's gross. There's to be big arguments about selling raids in FF. What do you mean? And yeah, I definitely want to watch this video. This is he posted this yesterday, but I decided to keep it for today and pay a lot of attention to it. Actually, okay, the quality's pretty good. Okay, I think I might have to watch it like a couple of times to just understand what's happening. Okay, so this is the title.
Boss. Alright. If you have a TBN to give me, I will definitely take it. Big Buster coming up. And it's going to be 2 weights of the land. So AoEs that pop under your feet, everyone stack up for them. Just do left, right, or right, left, whatever you feel like. Wait for it. Wait. And now we're going to look at where he's looking. And we're going to go opposite. Now listen closely. This is the tech for this poll. Go to A. If you're a WoW Raider, you stay here. You don't move. If you're a WoW Raider, you stay there.
Oh, on God. Fucking
All the
up.
WoW Raiders stay back. We're going to the right, FF players. To the right. See ya, WoW players. Let's do jails. We only have the people that know how to do it. Let's
Okay,
do
front.
it.
Middle. Front.
Oh my god!
What the hell?
Hell
Are you
yeah.
fucking kidding me?
Woken Titan, let's get it.
Titan,
Easy.
let's go.
Yes, baby. Easy. Bring it up. Bring him up. Res him. We can still make the DPS check, boys. Pop a pod and go to time.
no.
Oh,
Are we
shit, bro.
LB3 or what?
Oh, we technically can.
Let's watch it again. Let's watch it again. I have to see this one more time.
Boss. Alright. If you have a TBN to give me, I will definitely take it. Big Buster coming up. And it's going to be 2 weights of the land. So AoEs that pop under your feet, everyone stack up for them.
My
Just do left, right, right,
God.
left, whatever you feel like. Wait for it. Wait. And now we're going to look at where he's looking. And we're going to go opposite. Now listen closely. This is the tech for this poll. Go to A. If you're a WoW Raider, you stay here. You don't move. If you're a WoW Raider, you stay there.
Oh, on God. Fucking
All the
up.
WoW Raiders stay back. We're going to the right, FF players. To the right. See ya, WoW players. Let's do jails. We only have the people that know how to do it. Let's
Okay.
do it.
Oh my god!
Bring it in, bring it in. Hell
Are you
yeah.
fucking kidding me?
Woken Titan, let's get it.
Titan, let's go.
Yes, baby. Easy.
That is so toxic.
We can still make the DPS check, boys. Pop
I
a
died.
pod and go to time.
no.
Oh,
Are we
shit, bro.
LB3ing or what?
Oh, we technically can.
What the? That is like the most toxic thing I've ever seen. So push back and you have to move out, move in. One thing, yeah, I see, but like, there's no way. There's absolutely no way he could have just like known that. What the hell? Okay, I'm gonna see it one more time. I have to see this one more time. I'm sorry, it's too good.
Alright. If you have a TBN to give me, I will definitely take it. Big buster coming up. And it's gonna be 2 weights of the land. So AoEs that pop under your feet, everyone stack up for them. Just do left, right, or right, left, whatever you feel like. Wait for it. Wait, and now we're gonna look at where he's looking, and we're gonna go opposite. Now listen closely. This is the tech for this poll. Go to A. If you're
Like,
a
the
WoW
fact that he
raider,
just
you
knows
stay
this
here.
is wild.
Don't move. If you're a WoW Raider, you stay there.
Oh, on God. Fucking
All
bless
the
up.
WoW Raiders stay back. We're going to the right FF players. To the right. See ya, WoW players. Let's do jails. We only have the people that know how to do it. Let's
Okay,
do it.
front.
Look at middle.
Front.
Middle,
Oh my god.
Bring it in, bring it in. Hell
It's
yeah.
Fucking
crazy.
Let's get it.
Titan, let's go.
Yes, baby. Easy. Bring it up. Bring him up. Res him. We can still make the DPS check, boys. Pop
I
a
died.
pod and go to
Oh
time.
no.
Oh,
Are we
shit, bro.
LB3ing or what?
Oh,
Holy
we
shit.
technically can.
That was so bad. Oh my god, was that bad? Yeah, thank you for sending this to me. This actually it's actually kind of made my day. It's oh, that's so cruel. That is so cruel. Like, I don't know. Like, no one's ever gonna forget this. The internet is not gonna forget about this for sure. I want to watch this one actually, because I'm curious to hear what she has to say about where she thinks Endwalker will go. I've seen actually a lot of I've seen a lot of videos like this, but a lot of people, I think, are just kind of cheesing the topic. And sometimes when I see that, like, I just kind of like watching her videos because she's pretty genuine about these things. Like, I still can't believe they got together to do the raid. Yeah, it doesn't. Basically, he told the WoW players to. It was disgusting. That was well, yeah, that was definitely a lesson learned for sure. Jeez. Okay. Have you guys seen this video? I actually haven't been watching her like Zep live content a lot, so I don't know if I don't know how it differs from the other ones because I don't actually watch her stream a lot, but I want to see. I'll do another one. Yeah, and I think he was getting more mad about one of his team members actually laughing, because I think everyone took the joke in a kind of a, you know, in a good way, but like it was still a little bit toxic. And Bruno, welcome back. How are you doing? I hope you're having a good day.
To see the New Year's message from Yoship, because I have not read it yet. I realize it's already January 5th, but I
haven't
not
either
seen it. I know it exists, but for some reason I think I just got so wrapped up in preparing for Savage and everything else that I haven't had a chance to read it yet. So I'm going to read it right now. I'm going to look at it because I understand that if it's anything like last year's New Year's greeting, which I remember by heart, by the way, it was our progeny. Like, within the New Year's greetings, they give a little riddle. Like, there's a little poem that's hints, very mysterious hints about what to expect in the future story. And I actually remember the last one by heart because I was thinking of it so many times trying to figure out what Endwalker would be about.
Is this a good one?
Our progeny may never know, wherefore we look unto the sky, nor why we dig for truths below. We bear their scorn.
Why does
and
she know
watch
this?
them die. And that turned out to be from the perspective of, I guess, Charlian. I guess from Alphino's dad. Yeah, I think that's what it meant in retrospect. And so now that's crystal clear. But one thing that I didn't consider at the time when I was thinking about that poem was, who is the perspective from? who is saying this? And now I will think better. So for whatever is in the poem for today, we can remember that. Like maybe think about all the different characters that could be voicing this. So here it is. This is it. Can you see it? Yes. Okay. Here we go. So I'm a little late on this. But it's okay.
I'm even more late.
Producer and director Naoki Yoshida. Wishing all of you warriors of light a happy
Oh,
new
he
year.
actually writes
2020
them
was a year-
himself?
Wait a minute. 2020?
What?
Wait a minute. Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
That's that's not the letter.
I'm a little late. I'm more than a little late, it seems.
No, this is the old.
I'm not gonna Okay. That's the wrong one. My bad. Okay, so New Year's greetings. Happy New Year to all you FFXIVers out there. Oh my god. Did he call us FFXIVers because he can't say Warriors of
Why?
Light? Are we
Uh,
gonna be called FFXIVers now? I hope not. That's horrible. This sounds horrible. This is producer and director Naoki Yoshida.
I don't know. I would think that it was because he doesn't want to like discriminate warriors of darkness as well, because they're not the bad guys either.
Gina, though we regrettably had to delay Endwalker by 2 weeks right before it was originally slated for release, it was on December 7th that the expansion finally went out into the world, a conclusion to the saga of Hydaelyn and Zodiark, which began all the way back in 1.0. It's now been a full 11 years since I came aboard FFXIV, and I feel that I've put everything I have into this expansion. You have. Thank you so much, Yoshi, for all you've done. Honestly, I really, really mean it. I'm certainly curious to know what sort of an impression it's left with you. Look, I can't start crying this early in the... Setting aside game content, the large influx of players around the world since mid-year and the impact of COVID-19 on the supply of server equipment have led to extremely long login queues. Is it just COVID-19 that affected the supply of the server equipment? Could it be that there is some other thing that's influencing the supply of the semiconductors? Okay, you know,
I don't know much about it really.
I'd like to sincerely apologize again. We're currently working to fundamentally
I'm not
address
seeing
the
it.
situation, such as adding logical data centers and increasing the number of worlds in all regions, and we ask for your patience in the meantime. Now then, as its title suggests, Endwalker winds up the tale that has...
Yeah, I'm definitely not like, and not that I live under a rock, but I don't know much about it to make any meaningful comments about it. So I can't really say like what it is that's going on right now that's affecting it, but it could be.
woven since 1.0. However, FFXIV itself is far from over. This test is far from over. So you are resolved. But this test is far from over.
I hate and love that I now know
And
that.
we've already begun creating new journeys for all... Okay, Warriors of Light. Or adventurers, rather. To embark upon. Okay, listen, Yoshi. We need to think of something... If you don't want to call us Warriors of Light, we need something better than adventurers. Right?
We've
Maybe-
always been adventurers though.
I mean, I go with buns. You could use that. Not everyone is a bun, obviously, but everyone does have
No.
buns. So...
How about our
Think of
scaly
something. Think of
creatures?
As a matter of fact, just I was thinking about the next adventure. Not champion.
Champion
Not
bad.
champion. Okay. I noticed that a piece
Oh
of
my god,
paper had been left on my desk. And when
I find you wanting, like, every time you hear it, it makes you feel like you're gonna get spanked.
should be written on it, but another poem. Okay, here we go. I'm so excited about this because this is gonna be the hint of what to expect in the next expansion. So wanes the moon before the sun. Its journey ended, home at last. So look we now to days ahead, unfettered from our trying past. Unfettered from our trying past. From the memoirs of a reconciled man. So wanes the moon.
Like, I wouldn't even know how to look into this with any like deeper meaning. It's just like, I don't know, to me it just sounds like a new beginning, but I'm not too much of a reader into these things.
The moon is going away because he's talking about, well, the Endwalker moon story, that's done, right? No more moon stuff, like major moon stuff. Before the sun. So maybe we'll go to the sun next. Yeah.
Nah. What?
It's, the moon's journey ended, home at last. Wait, but the moon is a space station. So if it goes home, then it doesn't have a home, really. So wanes the moon before the sun, its journey ended, home at last. Okay. Maybe we'll use the moon as a space station and drive it into the sun. So we'll just get rid of all of that. So look we now today. We'll get all the Loporrits out first. So look we now
What?
days ahead, unfettered from.
Are we
our
talking
time.
about
This doesn't
crashing
tell us
into the
anything.
sun? I'm not
This is
seeing
even
it.
this is even more vague than the one from last year or 2 years ago. Whatever. It doesn't. Whatever the time has been since the last one.
Like, do these poems usually have a habit of hinting like the next piece of content?
That was last year, I think. Unfettered from our trying past. That just means like we're done with the old story and this is new. Or maybe it means that we will use the time machine to go to a new future. We're just leaving this timeline. I'll just leave it behind, and we'll go to the new one where everything is good and nothing bad ever happened. And like anytime anything bad happens, we can just go to a new timeline where nothing
And like
bad happens.
leave a mess
So
behind.
actually, that's the way that we can have that paradise continuing forever, because I think there's an infinite number of timelines that you could transport yourself to. Anyway, that doesn't tell us anything. Okay, so that was way less enlightening than I thought. Do you have any theories? Do you think if you line the first letters of the poem, S-I-S-U, sis.
Is this historically ever been the case that this means something?
What are you talking about?
I think this is a bit of
I don't
overthinking, to be
know.
honest.
I think it's not helpful. It's not helpful. Having welcomed the dawn of rebirth, taken to azure skies, liberated a land stained crimson, restored darkness to a light-flooded world, and now standing with the waning moon at their backs, our adventurers set their sights on a new beginning. Well, that's my take on the words anyway. Oh, okay. Look, he literally just explained it. So I wasted all my time trying to... Maybe there's not a hidden meaning here this time, y'all. Like, maybe it's literally just what it is. The moon is done, and now we're gonna have a new story. Like, maybe it's not as complicated as I'm trying to make it.
I'm glad she saw through
years
it.
Of operation, a goal that all MMORPGs should aspire towards. And now we set our sights on 10 more. Only 10 more? The first step in this new leg of our journey is patches. I mean, at a certain point, they need to make a new one. But it better have bunnies in it, okay? So after this 10 years, if they want to make a new one, it needs bunnies in it. I'm saying that now. The first step in this new leg of our journey is patch 6.1, ahead of which we'll take the opportunity to share our plans for FFXIV's future. Please look forward to it.
I love the
What?
please look forward to it.
Ahead of which we'll share our plan. So, are we talking about the next live letter? At the next live letter, are they going to tell us about the new first step in this new leg of our journey?
Yeah, I think this is reading a little bit too much into it.
We are going to the future at a normal pace.
I don't know. Maybe I don't read into things
It's
at all.
crazy to think that 2022 marks my 12th year as the helm
But
of
this,
FFXIV.
I don't know. To me,
Sometimes
this
I can't
sounds
help
like
but be
just a
amazed.
letter.
But I haven't gotten bored with it. Honestly, same. Like, I haven't been working on Final Fantasy 14 for 12 years. And nowhere near, like, the level of stuff that Yoship has to do for this game. But I'm a content creator, and I do, like, I completely focus on this game for my job. And I am also sometimes amazed that I'm not bored with it at all. Like, I am still super hyped and excited to play this game. But there's so much more I want to achieve with FFXIV. Oh? How about a workable glamour system? Like, before we
Ouch!
set our sights too high, maybe we can have, like, a normal glamour system. That would be a pretty big achievement, in my opinion. As I previously said, I consider it my life's work. Hell yeah.
Like, I think that's the one thing that World of Warcraft is doing, like, okay. Like, for those of you who haven't played it, like, the way you'd do it in WoW is, like, if you collect an item, that appearance of that item is added into your appearance collection. And the only way you're gonna lose the item is if you don't, like, try it on, but you instead, like, destroy it or trade it back to someone or whatever. Like, yes, by the item entering your bag or whatever, you get the appearance, but before you do something with it, I guess you have to, like, wear it. I think that's how it works.
And I hope
It
to
worked with
continue
Elizabeth
to like,
Harsh.
grow and stay with you all. Look, I'm here for the long haul as well. You are gonna see me again, hopefully. Yoship in an interview. Endwalker is the combination of everything we built up for 11 years, and I'm well aware that it will be extremely difficult to surpass. Yeah, I mean, I don't think anybody.
Any plans for
expects
surpassing
this
it?
expansion to, like, be better than Endwalker. I don't know anybody that expects that.
Like, I don't see how you can surpass, as in, like, beat the culmination of the story of the characters who you've spent a lot of years just establishing a connection with. I've gotten myself pretty attached to some of these characters, but probably not nearly as attached as some people who started playing in, like, 2013. So I think it's a different story, and there aren't really that many, like, old characters. Like, unless they take these characters and, like, we continue the journey with them somewhere else or whatever, if they continue to be the part of the story, then it's a little bit different. But, like, there's not much what is it, like, emotional connection or, like, melancholy or anything like that to, like, toy around with in a new story where all the characters are new. Like, there has to be some time for you to, like, I don't know, get to know these new characters and stuff.
We do tend to have high expectations, and I have high expectations, but we need to be reasonable, okay? Because Endwalker is a combination, like you said, of 11 years of build-up. And that's just gonna be more impactful than a brand new story. But I know that they can create a fantastic story. It's just like, you know, you look at the final season of a show that was really, really good, and you look at the first season, final season is gonna have more emotional weight, but the first season can be very engaging as well. I mean, look at a show like Breaking Bad, first season was incredible. And you immediately, like, you're drawn in by the characters. Oh, I'm getting way off track. Okay, let's just continue.
Well, yeah, I guess the last quest of Endwalker, like, where they talked about, where you got to talk about, like, the future of all the other characters, like, with them. I guess that's kind of telling you that they're still going to be around, but I guess you're not going to go on everyone's journey. They're kind of going their separate ways, but I think we're still going to be a kind of, you know, parts of their lives and, you know, still see them around. And I guess some will be more important than others. At least that's what I think.
But just like your just like your adventures and the efforts of the development and operations teams will continue to build on our wealth of tales, experiences. I don't know if I said it like that. Experiences and emotions, and endeavor to reach new heights, higher and higher. Again, I wish you a happy new year, and thank you for your continued support. Oh, what a cute picture!
That is
Oh,
cute.
that's so cute. Oh, it's Yoship in his cool kimono.
That
I've
is
seen
actually
him
pretty
in
cool.
At FanFest. Yeah, I went to FanFest in 2019.
I need to stop sitting
and I
on my
saw him
legs.
get on stage in
Jeez.
this same tiger kimono, and he was singing, and it was actually.
Like Avengers, they go to separate ways until the next global threat. I think it's not just the Avengers. Like I think both Marvel and DC do these kinds of things. Like basically you will have like separate shows. Like you'll have, I don't know, the Flash and the Supergirl and I don't know, Green Arrow or whatever. And at some point, like you'll just like when there's like a threat, you'll have them like I don't know meet up together. But it would be pretty cool to explore these separate journeys of these separate characters. Maybe that's a hint. Like basically listening to them talk about what they want to do, maybe that hints some new stories and some new zones where you're going to be, you know, best friends with Estinian, then best friends with Jataru, then best friends with this one or that one. Like I see that as something that actually makes a lot of sense. Hi Lewis, welcome back. How are you doing? Welcome back. What's up?
Really, really cool. It was awesome. There's a lot of things that made me really happy in this letter. Like him saying, again, like he says this in almost every interview now, FFXIV is my life's work. I'm here for the long haul. I can't wait to do the next 10 years. And that is all music to my ears because I'm sure that, we don't have to talk about that. No one else can replace him. He has to be at the helm. He has to continue leading this game into the brighter future, bigger and brighter things. I'm so curious. I'm literally dying with curiosity to know what. I think probably it will be the New World stuff. I was in Labyrinthos, I was doing a fate, and I saw that there was like, we were fighting some creatures and it said, oh, these were creatures brought in from the New World. And I'm thinking, oh, we've gotten a lot of New World hints lately. Like, we've been hearing a lot about it. So I feel like that might be where we go. But, I mean, places are one thing. Guessing at where you're going to go is one thing. But guessing at how the adventure could unfold is something completely different. I mean, if we really going to embrace,
like going to new worlds is always just a double-edged sword because you have your audience who's just kind of used to this world. Like WoW pretty much did the same thing, and they kind of didn't really do it the right way with like Shadowlands, because you went to the, well, not the new world but like the afterworld. And people just felt that it was so much different from like the, you know, what World of Warcraft really is. And I'm somewhat anxious about how it would be in Final Fantasy because it would need to stick to the brand as well, because you have people who have been a part of the brand like for a very long time, and I don't think they're about to make that mistake themselves. Like I don't think they're about to send off their fan base into some, you know, new world that is gonna look completely off brand because the continent may be called the new world, but it's still the new world for us, like as in like we don't know it, and it would be different.
Embrace this aspect of you being an adventurer. Like, is this going to be like feel like more like a D&D adventure? Are you going to be able to make up your own, like, will your choices have more impact on the story? Like, could they introduce some kind of a alignment system? Actually, that's a horrible idea. But maybe not. What if you could have choices that would affect some kind of alignment that you have?
I think the choices are pretty cool, but not in a way that they actually affect the story, but in a way that you, I don't know, not increase playability or replayability, because no one's really going to replay the game so that they can see how the story aligns, or maybe they might. But like that one quest where you had to choose like who's going to visit your room, like that was a pretty cool one where you could like go to Journey's End or YouTube and watch these other videos and like other characters coming to your room, and
You would have different steps along the way to your main story quest. Like you would have a different series of events leading to the same conclusion because of your. I feel like that might be way too much work for them to.
That is a lot of work.
Already, the main story quest takes up a colossal amount of their resources. So I feel like making multiple pathways depending on choices you make, that might be a bit much for them. But I'm just trying to imagine, like, how can we embrace the adventurer thing?
I don't know. I think she read a little bit too much into it, but I can understand it. Like for now, I don't want to be thinking about what's next. There is so much in Endwalker that we are yet to explore. So I think I don't know. Like I think I'm just for now I'm just looking forward to the current expansion, and I just kind of want to see what they're gonna do with it. The empty service trust, the logging queues would be better. Like, to be honest, I'm not even following the New World drama. I'm not even on the market for a new MMO. I'm taken. so yeah, goodbye. Anyway, this is what is this? Endwalk. Oh, this is one of the clips that I saw on what was it? On my sub feed, and I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's any good, but I wanted to see.
Dude. Lippy.
I love the hair
I know it must
color.
hurt, man, but you've been listening to that song on repeat for like 5 days now. Hello?
Jeez, that's exactly the Endwalker feels. The world lost 94% of their players, from what I've heard. 94%. Is that not like a little bit of an exaggeration? Is that the correct number? What? This is actually, let's watch Quasi's video first, because
It's been a while since I did it.
this is something that most of you will probably not be well, this is something that we've already been watching, so Transit Space might be difficult at this point in time. What do you mean? Why? Oh, we've already done it. This is the oh, this is Cupcake. Actually, this is your video, right? It doesn't get any better than that. Sakaguchi knows well. Okay, so basically this is the Final Fantasy creator finishing the Endwalker. Wow, that man finished the game so quickly. 94% compared to launch? That is crazy. That is insane. Okay, let's see what he had to say, or what Quasi said that he had to say.
Since I did a Sakaguchi video on this channel, and for those who don't know who he is, Hironobu Sakaguchi is the man who created the Final Fantasy franchise, spending over a decade at Square Enix working on classic Final Fantasy titles from 1 to 10 and more. And he started playing FF14 just a while before Endwalker's launch, and he absolutely loved the title. And in today's video, I'd like to cover his progress since Endwalker launch. Now, the reason why this video took a while is because Sakaguchi has been very respectful of the spoiler embargo for Endwalker, and he's been very careful not to post anything spoilerish related to Endwalker. But now that the spoiler embargo has lifted, he has started doing so again. So likewise in this video, I'll keep it spoiler free. There will be a few photos from the Endwalker gameplay naturally, but I won't provide any context to them so the photos will not spoil anything, only Sakaguchi's thoughts and my reactions. So let's get started. The first ever Endwalker tweet that Sakaguchi-san made was that how he was killed by how good the musical riff is when the Endwalker title screen comes up on his monitor for the first time. And he said he was so mesmerized by that moment, he can't help but pause for a while and take in the moment. Can you?
I don't think any of us will ever be able to understand what he was going through while playing the game. Like, imagine creating the freaking universe and then going to play the MMO that derived directly from it. That is crazy.
Imagine what was going through his mind though. Sakaguchi-san created Final Fantasy I 35 years ago. Never in his wildest imagination, I think, would he foresee that FF14 would become one of the top MMORPGs of its generation. His work 35 years ago paved way for the most anticipated expansion launch in FF14's history, to the point where they actually have to stop sales because servers are exploding. And I'm sure he must have felt a great sense of pride in that exact moment. Funnily enough, the father of Final Fantasy also had to face Q Savage at launch, and he was placed in a queue of over 900 people. And he commented that this is an amazing reception for the launch date, which prompted others to reply to his tweet showing screenshots of their queues, which is over a few thousand people.
I love the
personally
glam.
encountered a queue of over
Wow.
8,000 myself, and it's pretty insane now that I think back on that moment over a month ago. He then made a random musing about whether such experiences were even possible back in the old days with old technology, and he commented on how the proliferation and advancement of the internet made all these possible in the modern day. He then had a really good chuckle about Tataru being in the middle of the crowd as the quest giver at the start, and he was very tickled by the indicators on people's heads showing that they are watching a cutscene at the Limsa docks. Now, when the Endwalker title screen finally flashed, a sharp-eyed Sakaguchi-san, which is no surprise by the way if you've been following my Sakaguchi video series, the man is 60-year-old this year, but his eye for detail is way better than mine. He noticed that during the Endwalker title screen review lies the silhouette of a moon to the right of the words, and
Yeah.
he pondered if this has anything to do with the meaning of Endwalker. I definitely didn't notice the moon at that moment, by the way. I think I was too excited looking at something else. Sakaguchi was obviously hooked on Endwalker because the next relevant tweet
I love this Lalafa. Look at how beautiful the glam is. I don't even know what these pieces are, but they're gorgeous. I only know the wings.
after the title screen review was actually the first trial of the game. And for the people who have already finished playing Endwalker, you know this was a monumental moment, and likewise Sakaguchi-san commented he found the zone he was in to be really exciting, mysterious and pretty. And on 10th of December, just exactly 1 week after the release of Endwalker's early access, he finally beat the MSQs, and we know that because
Wow.
he tweeted out he was searching for additional party members to complete the final trial. Can you imagine being a Final Fantasy fan and randomly minding your own business while waiting in queue, only to find out you're facing the final boss of Endwalker with the OG creator of the FF franchise? That's just crazy
Amazing.
to think about. Shortly after, he retweeted a very funny picture in Japan, which essentially reads that the store manager is away from the store playing Endwalker. I thought this was hilarious though. It's really a reflection of how Final Fantasy XIV has catapulted itself to the forefront of modern MMORPG.
And it's probably totally okay.
When you're able to make changes in people's daily behavior as such, you know you're on the verge of something great. Sakaguchi-san then posted a tweet after the new year in English, a rare translated post by him by the way, and in this post he said that Nariken, the main programmer of Final Fantasy IV-6, who is now working at the game development company ran by Sakaguchi named Miss Walker, said to Sakaguchi at a weekly work meeting that Sakaguchi-san should continue working on something he's passionate about, to which Sakaguchi commented he felt like crying and he wonders if he can continue his work perhaps with Final Fantasy XIV. And no surprise, this tweet went viral because as a Final Fantasy fan, I'm sure everyone would love to see the OG Final Fantasy creator involved in FF14 somehow, be it whether it's a side quest, a minion, an NPC tribute, an alliance raid. Regardless, it will be really kick-ass.
He started as a warrior of light paladin, and Shadowbringers he noticed a hint and glamored him back to the original warrior of light look he used to have in the first screenshots. Like, I love how much attention he actually paid for this glam. This is not the first glam that I've seen, and each one that I've seen of his are amazing.
We already know from Sakaguchi-san's and Yoship's panel at TGS last year that both of them explored in a joking fashion to collaborate for future Final Fantasy content pieces. And it's clear that Yoshida-san has tons of respect for the father of Final Fantasy from that very panel interview. It could really happen if Sakaguchi-san is up for it. I recall he was contemplating retirement a while back, but for him to work on Final Fantasy XIV as one last hurrah before he retires for good, that thought really warms my heart. And after the spoiler embargo lifted in the new year, Sakaguchi then finally started posting pictures of his Endwalker gameplay, but he was still very careful to keep them spoiler-free without context. Amongst which was him posting a non-spoilery screenshot of the final trial. He was careful not to show the boss, of course, just his character, and he gave his final verdicts on the thought of the Endwalker as a game. He said that he was very impressed with Endwalker and he really liked it. He then went on to post a rare English tweet again, which he also apologized for the broken English, which by the way
Aww.
was just so heartwarming because so many people reassured him that they were grateful for his attempts to translate his thoughts into English. You can just tell this man has so much passion for the franchise and fans for him him to go through the trouble of actually
His
translating
English
his
is-
verdict of the game
is
in English.
good.
And
What's
regarding
he
his
talking
tweet
about?
for Endwalker's verdict, this is important, by the way, for a lot of the FF fans who play Final Fantasy but don't want to play FF14 because they don't consider FF14 a RPG
Sounds like
worthy
better
of the
than
franchise
mine.
because it's a multiplayer MMO. Note what Sakaguchi-san says in his tweet though. A MMORPG is even better. The excitement at the end of the game can be great in 1,000 different ways, but the connection between users can be great in many different ways. It doesn't get any better than that. Now, the way I read his
Aw.
tweet is really Sakaguchi-san implying that imagine you're going through the final trial alongside 7 other people. The kinship and the bond you form between one another as you go through mind-blowing sequences one after another, that's something special that everyone can relate to and share, even through simple text messages in party chat. And this is not a shared experience that is accessible in single-player Final Fantasy titles. I thought his tweet was representative of the highest praise one can
It's
give
so
Endwalker.
wholesome.
Sakaguchi-san then went on to challenge himself to do Savage raiding, and I know there's people out there who's apprehensive to try Savage, and hopefully Sakaguchi's excitement is infectious enough for you to give it a go. Think about it, a man at 60-year-old is still so excited for Savage Raid release.
Oh man,
and
I
hope
can't
I
wait.
age gracefully like him. I want to be a gamer at 60 years old as well. Sakaguchi-san then commented later on that
Well,
he
first
got
of all,
into
I
the
wanna be
deep rabbit
60
hole
one
of
day,
fishing.
and
He
then-
said he got on the ship for
You know, if I get there, I'd like to play some games too.
ocean fishing, and for someone who loves fishing in Animal Crossing, Sakaguchi said this might be a bad experience, which he said in a joking fashion, knowing how deep a rabbit hole he might be getting into. In case you didn't know, Sakaguchi-san commented during a panel with Yoshi that he tends to be afraid of MMOs initially because he's the kind of person who finds it hard to resist playing a game that he's deeply invested into, to the extent where he might lose control of his time.
Oh,
I wonder
wow.
how that will turn out with fishing though. A very excited Sakaguchi-san then went on to try out treasure maps, which he said he did for the first time and he found it really fun.
Oh man, Cupcake, when are we gonna do maps?
He also tried out the new 6.05 treasure map dungeon, which by the way, if you haven't given it a spin, you should definitely try it out. Case in point, Sakaguchi's winning tweets here as he made it to the final floor of the dungeon. You can see there's so many astounding visuals in this place, and I don't want to give away more
I
than his
can't wait.
pictures, but there's some really cool Easter eggs hidden away from this place, so make sure you check it out. So anyway, now that the spoiler embargo for Endwalker has lifted, Sakaguchi-san is starting to post more pictures more liberally as well, and I'll definitely be following the progress of the father of Final Fantasy in the coming months ahead. So make sure to hit the subscribe button right here if you're keen to follow his progress. That said, if you're looking for all my previous videos on Sakaguchi's progress from a sprout in Final Fantasy XIV to beating Endwalker, this playlist here has all the episodes. Thanks for
Wow.
watching, a shout out to my Patreon subs for keeping the channel alive, and I'll see you soon.
I know, I always answer and I always tell you when I'm available. I don't know about the other people. I'm available during the weekends and I am available during the working days at 1 in the morning. Pretty much. Unfortunately, my schedule is just kind of skewed, but like I will try my best to make it. If you guys can do it. And Hans, if you are looking for people, we have plenty of people who are from the other servers as well, or data centers or whatever. Anyone can post in the events channel on Discord. So if you're looking for someone to run with, and if you don't have people in your own world that you know, feel free to look for them in Discord. There's actually plenty of us at this point, so I'm sure that there are people who can at least form the cross worlds parties. And I'm looking forward to the maps. I'm very much hyped for them. Anyway, I have another video that I wanted to watch today. This is the Accolons. This might be a little bit of a spicy one, so if anyone is yeah, the link is down, I think, in the description of this video. There's a link to Discord. Feel free to pop in, and there's the events channel thing where you can ask for people to run content with, or you know, you can post in general as well. I don't particularly care, but there's a lot of us. And I'm really happy that we're growing as a community. Woo! Anyway, this might be a little bit spicy if you don't watch Accolon. I personally do, and I don't mind his content. It's just a light warning. But this is a video on MMOs in general that I've been curious to see. I really like him. Like I can stomach him, and I really like his content. So if you do too, you're gonna love this. But if you don't know him, it's just a light precaution. Anyways, this just discusses like players basically entering, well, or looking for new MMOs, and I'm just kind of curious to hear what he has to say, because he's really passionate about his MMOs, mostly World of Warcraft, now Final Fantasy as well, and I just curious. Have you seen this video? Yeah, I love his viewpoints.
Design MMO. Let's talk about this. What goes into designing an MMO, right? With most games, and this is something we have actually spoken about on the channel before. What is games? That's sort of the first question I need to ask chat. If you had to boil it down to a single sentence, what is a game? A game, if you had to boil it down to a single point, right, or a single sentence, is player promises. And this is not my suggestion, this is not my guess. This is from game developers themselves. That's what a game is. When you remove the graphics, you remove the systems, you remove the combat, you remove all of that, you look at the game. As a game, it's a set of player promises. Yeah?
Okay, that makes sense.
So what is it that you promise players will be able to do when they jump into your game? Because that's why players will buy the game. No one buys Call of Duty thinking they're gonna go gardening. Yeah?
True.
When you buy Call of Duty, you have a reasonable expectation that you're going to be able to pew other players, right? If Call of Duty didn't allow you to pew other players, that would be a pretty big player promise broken. Yeah? The problem...
Here, throw some flowers on them instead. Call it a day.
With MMOs, so with single-player games, maybe let's finish the thought on single-player games first. With a single-player video game, what you end up having is effectively a narrower player promise sort of ecosystem, yeah? Because in Call of Duty, the only real player promise that I'm making is the one that says you'll be able to pew other people in the face. That's it. That's the only promise I'm really making. Now, Call of Duty is a multiplayer game, but in this instance, multiplayer and single-player games tend to be very similar in that the promises that I'm making to you is far smaller in scope. If we're talking, say, for example, about God of War. Errol, I just saw you use the words God of War. Let's talk about God of War, right? What are the player promises that I get in God of War?
I know nothing about God of War.
I reasonably expect that there's going to be an insane storyline, right? When I play a God of War game. And I expect that there's going to be incredible combat, right? The combat is going to be extremely engaged and involved, and I'm going to feel like I'm right there in it. That's really it, right? Like, everything else could be a bonus, but those are the only...
Yeah, rainbows and flowers can definitely be violent. If you played Cuphead, you know what I mean.
two player promises that I actually expect from this game, you know? What about an MMO? Remember, we've already said MMOs are incredibly expensive to make.
Like, what is it that you expect out of MMO? Like, okay, if you're really just, well, I don't want to offend anyone, of course, but like, if let's say you're just a player who just wants to participate in the content of the game without really interacting with people. If you're just about the content, then you're gonna want what you're gonna want. You're either gonna want, I don't know, PvP or PvE, or, you know, good combat system or good dungeons or good raids or whatever, if you're there for the content, for the very fights, for whatever. But if you are not just a player, but you also feel like a community member, then you're not just gonna look for a game to play, but you're also going to look for a game that has the kind of community that you're looking for. And that is something in MMOs that is out of developers' hands. They can try their best to attract certain types of players or the community. Like, let's say you're trying to find someone to date, right? Like, the way you're gonna do it is you're gonna act in a way that you are attracting people who will like your behavior. If you, I don't know, let's say you're a girl, and well, okay, I'm just gonna say this. I'm not even gonna worry about, like, I don't know, potentially offending anyone or whatever. But like, if you dress a certain way to attract attention, you can for sure expect that you're going to attract the kind of people who are looking for, I don't know, girls who will be dressed in such a way that they attract attention, because it's normal. Like, that's your target audience, the guys who will look at you in that sort of way. But if you do something else, you're gonna attract the people who are looking for that kind of thing in you or whatever. And that's the same thing with MMOs. Like, they can try to make content that will attract certain types of personalities who will later on form the communities that they want their games to have in them, which is again out of their hands, but at the same time a good way to try and form these communities. For example, if they want a more casual community in Final Fantasy XIV, they're going to continue working on gold saucer, chocobo races. I'm not saying they're casual, don't get me wrong, but they are, well, different than what people would consider endgame, although they are endgame. Don't get me wrong, they are. But some people might just, dive into it casually, and you can't just dive into, let's say ultimate raids casually. That's the main difference, I suppose. But yeah, like, based on what kind of content you create, that's the community you're forming in an MMO.
Right? Far more expensive than any single player game. Like, far, far, far more expensive than any single player game. MMOs are incredibly expensive. So what does that automatically right off the bat mean when you wish to design an MMO? Like, just thinking about the price, what does that mean for you as a developer? What do you have to do as a developer in order to make an MMO? You want to make as many promises as possible. Why? Because you want to get as many players as possible into your game, right? So that you can actually fucking pay back the money or make back the money that you just spent building this monstrosity. So MMOs by design,
I love how he calls them
multiple
monstrosity.
player promises that need to be delivered upon. You have to make those promises, right? So you have to tell the player, hey, there's going to be a persistent world. This is an absolute player promise. You have to make that player promise, because that's what makes an MMO different to, say, for example, a looter shooter. Looter shooters don't always have persistent worlds because they don't need persistent worlds. An MMO is different. You need a persistent world. That's player promise number one. But then there's a bunch of other fucking player promises that have to be made, right? Like, for example, I need to be able to PvP. And I need to be able to kill bosses with my friends. And maybe I need to be able to kill...
I just love how in Final Fantasy they're super greedy with the amount of promises that they want to make, and they consistently deliver on them. I think that's pretty much why the game is so good. It's because they aren't really focusing on a certain type of personality who will be attracted to the game, but they just want to have everyone, and that actually makes it a world, because in a world everyone's different, right? When you look around yourself as a person, like, you see different people around you, and that's kind of the feeling that Final Fantasy gives you. Like, you walk around the world, you see people crafting, you see people raiding, you see people playing cards, you see people riding their big birds, or collecting minions or whatever. So good raids, good story, PvP exists. Now, PvP is... I don't think actually that PvP is bad. My honest opinion is someone who's just started getting herself into it, so don't take me too seriously. But I just think that a lot of people are just, not super interested in it. I don't know. Like, I've been having fun. I think it's okay. It's just underdeveloped. It's not the focus. The front lines remind me a lot of what the battlegrounds are like in WoW. I used to like battlegrounds. I just wished that they were more acceptable as an end game. And in front lines, I don't mind doing my daily roulette, and I think I've been getting better at that. yeah, it's not fantastic. It's fun content. That's all.
Bosses with my friends and extended people, right? Maybe I need to be able to do some transmogging. Maybe I need to be able to craft, right? So I need, and this is
Yeah, I
just
forgot to mention
off the top of my head. We
transmogs.
could probably.
Hi, Gregorius Jins. Welcome back. How are you doing? Yeah, exactly. Like every month there's something, and some people say like, "Oh yeah, they just want to keep our sub money, so they, throw in a new event with new glams and minions and such." But like that's kind of a spoiled thing to say because you are getting new content, even if it's like for a day or two. You are getting something to do. You're getting like a piece of something like a glam or a mount or a minion or something to have. If I don't know, if you're playing MMOs, that's kind of your goal, right? Well, one of them.
Probably if we sat here, think about just in terms of World of Warcraft, there's probably up to or close to 20, 30 player promises that have to be delivered upon, right? In every single way, in order to make a good MMO. So MMOs are incredibly difficult to produce. They take a lot of money. They're very difficult because they're not niche. They tend to want to cover a massive audience, yeah? And if you fail on those player promises, the game's over.
Yeah, Final Fantasy is holding up their promises to the point that I've forgotten that I even pay for the game. Like I'm just sub to it, and I don't think about my sub. I just know that I'm sub to it, and I don't even I obviously I consider my monthly expenses, but like it's just a monthly expense at this point. It's just a bill, like electricity bill. I will pay for it because I want to be there.
They'll stop playing. They move on. That's the sad part. This is why the vast majority of MMOs cannot work, will not work, will almost always fail because of how difficult it is to design. And I see people someone keeps throwing out Korean MMOs. How many of those Korean MMOs actually survive? Almost none of them. Because most of them are cash grabs. The vast majority of Korean MMOs are cash grabs. They exist only to make as much money as humanly possible in the shortest period of time before they basically get removed, yeah? Now, again, there are some that make it, there are some Korean MMOs that make it, but not all of them, right? Not all of them. The vast majority of them fail almost as soon as they launch. All they want is to make a bit of bucks, which is why they also take the vast majority of it is very stock, very simple, very simplistic, same, because they know there's gonna be whales that's gonna stick with the game for a while.
I wish I was smarter when I was starting with Hearthstone. Like, Hearthstone didn't used to be a cash grab, but I wish I'd recognized the moment earlier when it became a cash grab. Hearthstone became expensive at some point, and at that point, like, I was still completely willing to pay for it, but the amount of money that I was spending on Hearthstone back then is uncanny. Like, I wish I saw right through it and stopped when it was time, but my addiction got the better of me.
At the end of the day, though, when you think of that, right, in terms of New World, and you start thinking about that in terms of the Riot MMO, I think it becomes clear why New World failed and why the Riot MMO could fail. Because it's not fucking easy. And above and beyond all of this, you have to hope, and I do mean hope, that the players actually buy into your game, right? It doesn't matter that you've made those promises.
I
Players
love
need to
his
accept those
mindset.
promises, and you have no guarantee that the vast majority of players will accept those promises. It's very easy that the vast majority of players goes,
Oh yeah, I loved Runeterra. Runeterra was something that I actually considered playing full time. I think I was playing Runeterra full time for about like 2 or 3 months. I really enjoyed it, but I decided to just go back to doing MMOs because Runeterra at the time when I was doing it, it didn't really have a large player base, and I didn't know if the player base was gonna increase. And as a content creator, it just kind of felt like a risk. But I would totally go back to Runeterra every time.
nah, fuck it, it's fine. Don't want to play. It is what it is, right?
Yeah, that was a good video. I actually really enjoy his insights, and I hope you do too. You should sub to the man. Anyway, that is pretty much all that I wanted to see for today, and this is not going to be my last stream of the day. Now it is 5 p.m. Central European time around here, and I will be back in 4 hours. So at 9 p.m. Central European time, which is 3 p.m. EST for those of you Western birds, I will be back, and we are having our Sunday lore night. Well, for me, it's lore night. For you, it's probably like catch up. However, it is somewhat new content because I will be doing the Reaper job quests. My Reaper is currently sitting at 88, and I'm planning on bringing it to 90 tonight, but I'm probably going to be doing it through the role and job quests because they give tons of experience, and I don't want to go through roulettes with the Reaper. Hopefully I can just get it this way. So we got Reaper job quests, the final level 80 Reaper job quest. We have the Shadowbringers Reaper role quest, and we have the Endwalker Reaper role quest. And after that, all I need to do is level my healer, and I have all my roles covered. So woo! And in CET, that's gonna be 9 p.m. That's gonna be in 4 hours. I will be back. I will unlock what I've unlocked it. I just never really went back there. So yeah, I will be seeing you guys. No Zodiac today. No, you will not tempt me. No way. tonight it's a no-go. Tonight it's Reaper time, and I will do my stories. So in 4 hours I will see you back here, same time, same place. If you're new to the channel, feel free to stick around, and also you can join the Discord. We've been growing quite a bit on Discord lately, and I'm super excited and happy about that. You can find the Discord link in the description, where you also get all the announcements on when I'm gonna be live, which is mostly during weekends. I will see you very, very, very soon. I have to go and teach now. I have my lessons, so I will be back very soon. Thanks again for watching these videos. I do my weekly reaction videos on Sundays, so around this time, like 3 p.m. EST. See you later. Have fun, take care, have a good rest of your day if I don't see you again today, and thanks for watching, and bye bye.